Love can be kind and cruel, as they say, but we take all types on Valentine's Day. Showing affection with flowers and treats and grandiose acts of romantic feats. Some find love easy and others take time. Some wait their whole lives for that feeling sublime. But despite all the tat and the Valentine's fuss, we hope on that day that love will find us. That leads us to June, a wonderful lass. She was thoughtful and smart with plenty of sass. But just like so many, and much to her plight, she could not find the one who suited her right. It was always the same, things started off well, but as time went on, it just all goes to hell. This year would be different, as she had no agenda. She'd do what she pleased on a singles night bender. She could see what she wanted, or dance like a loon. She could eat a whole cake, it was all about June. The night had arrived, she was ready at last, to do what she pleased and just have a blast. A quick glass of wine, then she made for the door. With so much to do, she could wait no more. June took to the streets, the night had begun, but soon she would find there would be little fun. All restaurants were full, the movies too cheesy, the bars were okay, but the patrons were sleazy. Oh, what a night, the cheer was all gone, no high hopes left for this party of one. June wandered around, a churro in hand, some comforting food, she was not feeling grand. All where she looked, couples revelled in cheer, they all were enthralled in love's atmosphere. They smiled and laughed at each other's behest. June felt so down, she sank into her chest. She walked for a while with no destination and considered her plans with much consternation. Perhaps it was time to just call it a night. She could finish that wine and gain some respite. She stopped on the spot and looked to the sky. She'd give anything to meet just the right guy. And then it appeared, so fast and so far, just barely in sight, was a bright shooting star. With nothing else left, she figured, why not, to make a big wish with all that she's got. June announced loud and wished with all might, I'd sell out my soul if I find love this night. Her words fell on silence. What did she expect? The one just by magic? Life's not so direct. She gave a big sigh and started to roam. She'd had enough and so headed home. Making her way, she stared at her feet. Not watching her path, she stepped in the street. She only snapped back at the blare of a horn. Caught in headlights, her fate they did warn. This looked like the end. She was frozen in track, but a heave on her arm pulled her right back. The car sped on past as June was still reeling. Being so close to death was a horrible feeling. Her mind was now racing, but there was no thought, and into her throat her heart had been caught. She tried to calm down for all it was worth, till a voice softly called and brought June back to earth. It was then that she noticed a man standing by. He was talking to her just to get a reply. "Yes?" asked June, still a little unsteady, as she looked to her saviour who was stood at the ready. The man then announced, "Oh good, you're all right." He gave a soft smile. "You gave me a fright." Good-looking and tall was a sight for the eyes. June found herself stunned from this welcome surprise. "Thank you so much." She was caught off guard. "You saved my life," her heart beating hard. He stood relaxed. "I'm just glad you're okay," extending his hand. "I'm Pete, by the way." "June," she replied. "How can I thank you?" Pete shook his head. "There's really no need to." "How about coffee?" Home could wait longer, and if all went well, she might need something stronger. Pete gave a smile, his blue eyes unblinking, and with joy in his voice. "That's what I was thinking." So off they went, for a coffee and chat. Things went so well, they expanded on that. Seizing the night, there was so much to do, but with joy in their hearts, they'd see it all through. With music around, both were rushed off their feet. They hit up some vendors and shared something sweet. They spoke about life as they wandered the city. That this night would end was really a pity. They stopped on the high street beneath the light of the moon. This night had been a gift for starry-eyed June. The moment was perfect, a chance she'd not miss. Just play it cool and go in for a kiss. As she leaned forward, she noticed a smudge right on Pete's cheek from some Valentine's fudge. June playfully chuckled at the smudge she surveyed. He smiled and laughed, for his pocket he made. Pete went for a napkin with a comical pout. As he pulled at the paper, something else had fell out. It fell to the ground with a foreboding ding. What was now lying still was a man's wedding ring. It was only now that she studied his finger, where a wedding band mark did still blatantly linger. June wanted an answer, and rightfully so. If this man was married, then she had to know. Does it really matter? I don't want a row. What's past is now past, and I'm with you now. June was appalled at what she'd just heard. After all of the night, she felt so absurd. Feeling betrayed and sad for his wife, June said he was done and not in her life. A harrowing growl then filled her with dread. His blue eyes were gone and were now bloody red. He then spoke in a voice that clawed at her soul, like a predator waiting to swallow her whole.
I've done what you asked.
It sounded so cruel.
I've granted your wish. Now you make me a fool.
June couldn't move, as fear struck her through. She could only get out, "Just what the hell are you?" It then smiled wide, as if this was a game, and then in that voice, it told her its name.
I take many hosts, both ugly and foxy, to share out my love, and my name is Proxy.
June moved to leave, but to horror she found that her path was blocked from a crowd stood around. The once happy street of people now revelled with the bloody red eyes of the newly bedeviled. "What's going on?" she asked of this stranger. "Is this all a joke?" The air reeked of danger. A woman then spoke, in the voice from before.
Oh no, it's no joke. It's the truth, I assure.
Another took over, an old man this time.
I used them for us. Is that really a crime?
Her heart beating faster than it had in forever.
Which would you prefer?
They all spoke together. June spoke up again. Her fate seemed concrete. "What is it you want?" The response came from Pete.
To give you my love, as I have from the start. All I ask in return is you give me your heart.
Footsteps then echoed as the people drew near. This looked like the end for our poor June, I fear. The horror consuming, for her soul it did delve, but everything stopped as a bell then struck 12. The people stood still, just staring at her. Proxy moved closer so as to confer.
I'll leave you to wonder the how, why, and when, but someday and soon I'll see you again.
She remembered her wish to the star up above, of what she would give for a Valentine's love. June could still flirt, have fun and mingle, but each Valentine's Day she'd have to stay single. So to you all, a message as such. Make concessions for love, but only so much. Your heart is yours to give to the best, in hopes they won't tear it right out of your chest. Good day, I'm John19 and thank you for listening. Happy Valentine's Day everyone. Here's wishing each and every one of you a wonderful day. To celebrate, I'm giving you all this creepypasta as a Valentine's Day gift. Enjoy it and know that I appreciate each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. Which is in a different jar, should be around here somewhere, I don't know. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you did, then perhaps subscribe, leave a like, and if you're feeling particularly cheeky, maybe even a comment. I do hope that you'll join me again. Stay safe, sleep well, but remember, here we make monsters.